We're live. Stop again.
I was just tweeting people so that they knew to look for us.
It's happening.
Hey guys, welcome to the Alieums after show. The show that comes on after that show about Alieums. But today the show wasn't really about Alieums, so I guess I screwed that up.
Green things.
Yeah. I am one of your hosts, Colleen Evanson. You might know me from The X-Files Abridged, which I recapped every episode of The X-Files on Vine for free. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I don't have a life. Yay! And my other host.
No, I think one day Fox is going to just come to their senses and give you money for it.
I don't think so.
No.
That's how
They'll probably let
If
you
they
should let you
DVDs.
monetize it on YouTube at least. You get like $3
Let's
from it.
not call attention to it.
You might
because
get a
they'll
cease and
probably-
desist.
they're gonna-
I think there's no way this
It
could
is
be
now gonna be gone.
not
But it is
fair
your
to you.
words, not theirs.
As
It
it's
is.
dolls.
It is.
And anyway,
Shut up and tell them who you
I'm
are.
Ben Tully.
Uh-huh.
I'm a scientist.
You are also. You might know Ben from season 3 of King of the
King of the
Nerds.
Nerds.
Yeah, that's not something that we brought
Came
up.
in second.
That's not something that we brought up before.
First is the worst, second is the best.
Oh,
Shouldn't
that's
your
important.
ID badges be switched?
That's true. You're the scientist. Technically, I shouldn't be Scully.
He's a
Okay,
doctor
that's
scientist,
fine.
actually.
That's fine. He's not a real doctor. Everybody calm down.
I am a real scientist, though. So,
He is a real scientist.
I did a lot of science today.
He did a lot of science. What exactly is your science for?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, fine. It's boring.
Water
I have
science?
some other lovely guests
Water
with me
science.
today. Please introduce yourselves and then maybe show off a little X-Files memorabilia that you have.
Ooh. My name is Tony. I have no online presence.
Yes.
That's good. It's important to point
But
out.
He's off the grid.
I'm off the grid, just like Mulder.
Yeah.
I brought several wonderful official guides, which I
Yes.
read because I'm not on the internet.
Yeah.
Books?
Books? So you have
books.
printed internet pages?
Yes,
Is that
yes.
what it is?
These
They're
are
just
actually
like Wikipedia
These are
bound?
Wikipedia articles bound.
Yeah,
That's how
alright.
they make their money back. That's what you're giving your $3 to.
Oh, got
Can you
it.
do that?
got
Haven't
it.
done that.
Copy
I've got some wonderful. These are from an X-Files convention. These are some Topps comic books. This is number 1. It is number 100,293 of 120,000 limited edition.
That doesn't sound limited at
Doesn't
all.
sound very limited.
I mean, I
those
just-
ads on the back are amazing.
Yeah, there's
it's
some
pretty
some
great.
collector looking at this being
Yeah.
like, he doesn't have them in plastic.
Yeah.
He doesn't have them in plastic.
People on the internet are cringing.
I called someone. They looked them up on the internet. They're worth about $20.
Oh,
Each?
shit.
Or
Yes,
total?
It's more
each.
than their
2,
original
4,
value.
6, 8,
Oh,
10,
here's a
$100.
wonderful ad for Mars Attacks.
All right. Tony, you're done.
Yeah.
Dalex, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dalex. You can find me all over the interwebs, especially at Twitter at Dalex the Alien, and
true.
also on the Instagram at Longshot555.
You also have a turtle.
I'm also a podcaster.
Yeah,
That's an
he's-
original.
He doesn't have a turtle as in the animal. It's a turtle
Don't
podcast.
have a turtle. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle retro-themed cartoon podcast
It's
called
fantastic.
TurtleCom, and we're on your iPod. Hold on, let me try that again. We're on your iPhone app for the podcasts.
Yes.
I haven't seen an episode in a while.
Oh, haven't done one in a while.
All right, great. So a lot of time to
Don't
catch
look
up,
for it.
guys.
I mean, we've done episodes, we just haven't edited and posted them.
Sure, that's
So
fine.
we're thinking about you guys,
It's tough.
but we just can't. It's hard.
Yeah.
That's
Job.
what are you gonna do?
What's your memorabilia thing?
So, okay, check this out. I got this sweet-ass Scully tee.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then Colleen and I met 7 or 8 years ago
this is true.
on Hollywood Boulevard
Yes.
at the premiere for the second crappy movie that we all saw.
This crappy movie.
That crappy movie.
This with this screen pass.
And they gave us these these Livestrong wristbands that I had on my gear shifter the moment they gave it to me and I got back to my car until today.
I lost mine immediately. And it says I want to believe on
It
it.
does. I want to
Yeah.
believe.
I
love
want to
this
believe
stupid
it was
thing.
going to be a better movie.
I-
You know, that
Yeah.
movie is better than people give it
I
credit
know.
for.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
what
for
I
sure.
said.
We've discussed this
I
already.
know,
Episode
I know.
1, we talked
but
about it.
Dalex and I actually found each other waiting in line, and we were the only like two kind of people of the same age that
Who
were
are also
like.
sane.
Wait, well,
normal.
yeah, what were the age distributions for everybody else?
Oh, they were like older.
But
Like
there were some
There's
nerds.
one standard deviation away from the mean. There's a
Yeah, but like, that they would be one standard.
They would be.
Yeah,
We
not
were one
the-
we were in
standard
our
other
20s.
people.
I'm
These
not the
people were like
scientist.
crazy, like cat ladies and stuff like that.
Oh, they're older.
Mostly cat ladies.
Cat
That makes
ladies or
sense.
cat
Yeah.
men?
But
Also-
not just. Okay, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
also want to point out that this VHS
yes.
collection,
Yes.
I literally purchased today at the Goodwill on Lancashire in North Hollywood. There are still some available if any of you are
Their
local.
price tag on those $3.99.
Yeah, they cost $3.99 a piece.
I don't know how
$3.99
much it costs to
piece?
get an actual VHS
Oh my
player,
God.
but
Goodwill, 50 cents. You
But
got
you
it.
can still get some X-Files VHS at the Goodwill on Lankershim in North
God
Hollywood.
bless America.
It's pretty great.
I am sad that they taped it together.
I
Yeah, it
know.
did kinda
It's
suck.
gonna rip it up.
Yeah.
I'm not too excited about
Yeah.
it.
Okay, Mark,
Yes.
go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Marc. I'm Marc Calderaro. You can find me on the interwebs as well,
Yeah.
under that name for the most part.
Okay.
I do podcast Katir too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 That's how it goes.
Okay.
Great.
And
Do you have some
Do
memorabilia?
you have anything that you
Oh,
want to
yeah,
talk
you
about
do.
here?
I
Oh.
do.
You do.
So Colleen was all like, "Oh, bring some memorabilia," and I didn't like collect a lot,
Wait.
although I have a lot of the VHSs.
Yeah.
But my sister and I used to watch X-Files a lot together. That was kind of like our thing. And so for multiple gifts over the years, I have commissioned art for my sister that is X-Files themed. So that was the first one. That was like
Ooh.
5
That's
years
goddamn
ago.
amazing.
Pretty good.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And then the other one that I got
This
is
I
kind of
bel-
for her wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, what
I
is it?
believe
Is
this
this in
is from
pencil?
Fight the Future
It's colored pencil.
kind of thing. This
That's
is season
amazing.
Yeah,
5.
it's ink lines and colored
Do you want
pencil.
to promote the artist as
Well,
well?
oh,
as
I
your
will. Oh,
sister?
don't worry.
And
And so,
there's
but
this
this is
one.
the new one, which I think is genius.
Pretty good.
And it fits with the theme of this episode
Yes.
because Jose Chung was also written by Darin Morgan.
Yes.
The artist is
So many layers.
Alex Ward. Alex Ward is one of the best pen and inkers that I've seen. Her line work is fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
and she often does art that's like classic horror. She'll do Bride of Frankenstein all in like black and white, really meticulous pen and ink,
Cool.
or like Laura Gemser with a anyway. But she's awesome and in Austin, and if you're around there, you should check her out. And she made those
Cool.
wonderful things for my sister.
And not to step on you, but I think I have the coolest thing, which is a cone that I stole from the set of the X-Files on my Sweet 16 back in the day.
She made her parents fly her out to California
Yes.
for her 16th birthday.
Yeah. Because I wasn't sure if the X-Files were going to be over. It was season 7. We didn't know.
There's a lot of
Smart,
questions in the
smart.
air.
And so then we went to set of All Things, which was written and directed by Gillian Anderson, and there was a character in it named Colleen. What? Kismet? I don't know. And then
Boy, howdy.
and then this lovely cone was in the street, and my uncle wouldn't let us leave until I took it, so I took it.
a
And
good
then
uncle.
flew it across the country to New York,
And
and
now
then
it's
my
come back
parents
in
brought
the
it back
mail.
out here.
You probably also had an AD fired.
Yeah, somebody probably for sure
Somebody
got fired.
definitely. Some PA.
I stole it
Yeah.
in front of a guy,
Security.
and he was asleep in the car because he got out and then he stretched and yawned, and then I saw him mentally count the cones, and
No.
one was missing, and he stopped, and I was like, oh my god, I got him fired.
So if you are that fired AD or PA,
Hi, I'm
From
Colleen.
security detail.
Yeah.
at Lady Fantastic on Twitter.
Do you remember what neighborhood they were filming in?
It was Inglewood or something. It was like it was down there.
It's
It was
also
Yeah,
the
down.
most union-y story I've ever heard
right.
in my entire
It's
life.
very unique.
This man woke up in his van,
Yeah.
counted cones, and went
Stretched.
back to
He-
sleep.
essentially, yeah.
He was mildly perturbed by it. He was like, I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's
Fuck
one
it.
cone.
Yeah.
NMJ.
Who's gonna count? Anyway, so tonight's episode was a Darin Morgan episode,
Darin
as we
Morgan.
know. But before we get into some of that, I just want to say the revival ratings came in, and the first episode, despite it being kind of shaky a little bit, pulled in after the plus 3 days 21.4 million viewers.
Wow.
The second episode pulled in
This is important.
12.7 million.
Okay.
Believe it.
Plus
and it
3?
beat plus 3, and
Yeah.
it beat The Bachelor, which is like lady football, so that's like
Whoa.
amazing. And then worldwide, any guesses how much the viewership was for the first two?
I
Don't.
can read it.
Well, then you aren't allowed to guess because it
Fine, I
wouldn't
won't.
be a guess.
First two combined?
First
or-
two combined.
Oh, God.
Obviously, I'm going to give you a hint. It's got to be at least 30 million because the 21 and the 12.
Maybe 70 million?
That's a lot.
That's
okay.
a lot. I don't know.
Tony,
$1.
$1.
All right, we're not going.
Oh,
$2?
That's wicked smart. Wicked smart.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. Let's see. So it's 33 million domestic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say 55.
50.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Close.
Yep.
But
Tony wins without going over. Good job, Tony.
Good
Great
job.
job.
I guess the
Excellent.
dollar, not viewer. Is
Yeah.
that even in the right format?
To Fox,
don't question
viewers
it.
are dollars.
That's
so
right,
it
that's
actually
I,
works
I was
out.
I was expecting to be like you guys were like, what, 50? You're like 100 million.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
1
This
million
backfired.
viewers.
All right, so this one is by Darin Morgan, who's one of the more prominent
the best.
X-File writers, even though he didn't really...
Yeah,
I
I
shouldn't
was-
say prominent, actually. He's one
Favorite.
of the
A fan
favorites.
favorite.
Because he only technically really wrote 4 episodes, but 5 technically, because he did a rewrite on Quagmire. But some of the episodes that he wrote, and I do have some fan poster art for some of these, if you guys are able to pull them up as I say them. But Darin Morgan wrote. First of all, he was a guest. He did a guest role on the Host in season 2 as the Fluke Man. So he was the actual giant worm.
Which that was the
that's his
latrine
IMDb
reference
photo.
to that.
Yes, but okay. So then this is his first one that he wrote, which is Humbug, which is the first funny episode. And when I'm gonna humble brag here. When I worked with Frank Spotnitz years ago, I had asked Frank about how that came about of writing the first funny episode, and he said Fox was actually super nervous about it because they were like, we don't know if this is what the show can be, and it wound up being like one of the most popular episodes, even though Darin wasn't happy with it. So he kicked himself for that, and then he eventually did season 3, Clyde Buckman's Final Repose, starring Peter Boyle, aka the Grumpy Dad from Everybody Loves Raymond, and Peter Boyle won an Emmy for his role in that, and Darin also won an Emmy for Best Writing for his second episode of The X-Files. All these people are like writing on the episodes forever,
I was
and
saying
this
this
Trump
last
comes
night.
in and
So
he just
sad.
writes
That
it.
like there's some
He's
like
like,
guy
"Oh,
who has like
idea."
a bunch of X-Files
There you
shows to his
go.
name, and he's like, "This is great. They're gonna definitely invite me back for the revival. I put so much work in." It's like, no, let's get Darin back. He did 4.
Yeah. Well, so Clyde Buckman's Final Repose is also Kumail Nanjiani's favorite X-File
But not Darin's.
episode. That's true.
weird.
So then after that, he did War of the Copperphages, or Copper. I don't know how you
I
really
think that's actually pretty damn
Copperphages.
close.
Copperphages.
Yeah.
Copperphages.
So
Yep.
here's War of the Copperphages poster art. And ooh, it's growing! Watch out!
Oh my god.
So this one is the one about the cockroaches that infest the town, and Mulder
doctor.
talks to the hot Dr. Bambi.
Bambi.
You sure it wasn't a girly scream? All these great things. He keeps calling Scully on the phone.
Right.
Stephen
But
Hawking
the
showed
other
up?
fun
Not
thing
really.
that I forgot actually is in Clyde Buckman, Scully gets a dog,
Yeah.
Queequeg,
Forgot that.
and then I forgot to mention that.
Oh, okay.
And then in War of the Copperphages, she's like washing the dog and having fun with the dog, as Mulder keeps calling her to harass her about this case.
In no other episodes besides Quagmire does the dog exist.
All right. And then the next episode that he wrote after that was Jose Chung's From Outer Space, which is what your fan art was from.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is. They're in a spaceship.
Oh, that's...
And this one starred Charles Nelson Riley, who's fantastic as a writer who's trying to write about an alien abduction case. And this one plays a lot with perspective of like what's the truth and whose truth and what the story is. It also starred Jesse the Body Ventura as a Men in Black, and it
so
starred
weird.
Alex Trebek, the game show host.
Game show host.
Yeah, and I feel like there was another person that maybe I'm forgetting. No, that's about it.
It references Kim Manners.
Oh yes, it references Kim Manners in it, since he was their most prominent director, probably, of the X-Files.
Definitely.
And
He
Detective
directed
Manners is my
50
favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Detective Manners is the guy that says bleep and
Bleepy
bleep blop. Like he's clearly cursing, but they couldn't get it past the cursing, so they put in bleeps and bloops.
brilliant.
And Kim Manners also he directed Humbug as well. And he was the most prominent director of the X-Files. He did like 50 of them, but he sadly died in 2009. And then the next one that he actually did a uncredited rewrite for was Quagmire, which
Loch Ness
is the
Monster.
Loch Ness Monster, and it's the one where Scully's dog gets eaten by an alligator.
I feel like that's the most credited you can get for being uncredited. You're like, oh, that dog that only exists in my episodes,
well, there
I'm
was
going to
also
bring it
the
back and kill
Stoners.
it.
The Stoners were in that one as
Yeah.
well, and the Stoners originally showed up in War of the Copperphages.
Good.
Same
Always
stoners.
being stoners.
That's true. And then he left the show after the 3rd season. His brother was Glenn Morgan, who was one of the writers. Glenn and
James Wan.
James Wong were writing partners back in the day, and now they are back on the revival, but they're writing separately. And he, in season 4, came back to do a cameo, not really a cameo, but like a guest starring role,
Yeah.
Like a
as Eddie
big
Van
role.
Blunt
Yeah.
In Small
in
Potatoes.
Small Potatoes, written by Vince Gilligan. I have a picture of him in a janitor outfit for that one. His name tag says Eddie. He plays a guy that can shape shift, but it's a musculature thing,
And
not.
he has a tail.
And he has a tail. He was born with a tail, and he can shapeshift into anybody. He turns into Mulder, and then he tries to make out with Scully. It's like a fan favorite.
So
episode.
close.
So close.
So
And
close.
she wasn't like, nah.
She wasn't
She
not.
was like
not into
okay
it.
with it.
Yeah.
She was okay with it.
Yep.
I mean,
but
but
only
you have
because-
to remember though that like Eddie probably was like the first time Mulder was never like self-centered and
Yeah.
like, only thinking about himself.
Yeah, he came over with a bottle of wine. He was like, "Tell me about your day,
Tell me,
girl."
yeah,
And
tell
she
me
was
all
like,
about your
"Okay."
life. And she was like, I've never been. What's happening?
Why
This
are
wasn't-
I'm seeing new
Yeah.
sides
She was
of you.
immediately skeptical. She was like,
right.
"What?"
This
Yeah.
wasn't like Dreamland fake Mulder. This was a
No,
whole,
this
a whole
is
nicer
like-
persona.
Yeah. He also worked on Millennium, which was a show that was produced by the same kind of X-Files people. And I didn't realize this. Darin Morgan wrote on Fringe, which was basically a knockoff X-Files, even though J.J. Abrams wouldn't say so in the beginning. He was like, "It's not X-Files. It just has a female FBI agent running around, and there's like weird shit happening." I was
And
like,
Lost-
"Fuck you,
yeah.
J.J."
And Lost wasn't a redo of Twin Peaks either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's that too. It's Twin Peaks on an island with a smoke monster.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Okay.
So anyway, fun fact about this episode, Mulder and Scully meet the were-monster, is that Darin, there was a revival of Night Stalker
Yeah.
back in 2009, I think, or so, that Frank Spotnitz was helming, and Darin had written an episode called The M Word that was about a lizard monster. And I actually have a snippet of part of the script that someone on Tumblr had put up, and it is verbatim the fantasy scene where he's having sex with Scully, but it's just different characters. And so he kind of repurposed this. And there was a behind the scenes thing that came out today from Fox. They've been putting up 1 million videos of this episode because they're super proud of it. But they put up a thing that was like the case file of it, and Darin Morgan in it says, this is something I've had in my head for like 10 years. So the script that they wrote for Night Stalker actually got canceled before it was produced. So it was an unproduced script. Here it is. I think this is it. Is it? I can't read it. It's too small. Can you read it?
No. The
Yeah.
internet can read it, though.
The internet can read it.
Just read it, guys.
It has something.
Just
yeah.
read what's there.
I think it even says.
Just read it.
Yeah, it's fine. You can read it. You can read it. You know what's up. I'm pretty sure it's the sex scene where she's like, don't stop, you're an animal. And then it cuts to the guy being like, stop, that did not happen. And it is the exact same thing. Boom. But that's fine. Repurpose your shit if it's funny.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, don't-
Aaron
don't let
Sorkin made a whole career out of it.
Right?
That's fine.
Nothing important happened today.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. We got a full thing right there.
There it is. Yeah.
Huge boogly.
Yeah, so it's
Don't
the same.
stop. Don't.
Exterior
Cut.
cemetery day.
Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Did not happen.
Yeah, that did not happen.
No,
Which
it's hard
is
to
fine.
believe.
And his
Yeah.
his name's Guy still.
His name is
Yeah.
Guy Man
Yeah.
also in that one. So he's had that idea. He's like, I'm holding on to it. I'm keeping it. This is how we do. So anyway, this episode is also full of a ton of Easter eggs that you guys, I saw you taking some
Just
notes.
notes
And it
galore.
starts right off with the two stoners.
Tyler and
I
Red.
don't know what their names are. I think they're credited
She
as
has a-
Stoner 1 and Stoner 2.
By the way, because they were originally credited as that.
Stoner
Yeah.
is Tyler Labine, who has his own
Deadbeat.
Hulu.
Yeah.
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 And like was in that Tucker and whatever Dale movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Versus
know.
Evil.
Versus
Isn't he
Evil.
on-
That's
You
the
would
one.
enjoy it.
Oh,
Isn't he
okay.
in Orange and the New Black?
No,
Oh,
Maybe.
I
I
don't
don't know
think so.
about
He's
that.
not the.
Is he
not
the
electricity
lady
guard?
who got jailed for trading and carrying money?
No.
Is that no?
No.
No.
thought
Anyway,
he
he's
was
had a
Different
career.
stoners. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
But he
different guy.
has done stuff. She
Right.
really hasn't. So when she got the call, she was like, score.
Crossover though, she did do like a version of live action Turtles TV. I'm just gonna
Oh.
acknowledge
okay.
that.
A
I don't-
version of Live Us?
Yeah, I could bring it up on IMDb, but I forgot. It was
That's
like
fine.
their next
We're good.
mutation.
Okay.
That's fine. We're
That's not
good.
great.
We're
Yeah.
Put
fine.
it down. Let's stop talking about your thing.
Oh, sorry.
The
All
stoner, like the stoner motif though, is not is a long running motif.
Yes.
It's always
But,
different
like,
drugs.
What?
In the
with-
X-Files.
Yeah, with Seth Green.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
right?
Seth Green
Exactly.
started
Seth
started
Green,
that
who's
off.
in the second
Yeah.
episode ever of
Yeah.
the X-Files.
When he eats that cheeseburger on screen, you can tell he loves that cheeseburger. Man. Like, he is
I
so
like the
good.
stoners.
There's the stoners. There they are.
Yeah.
Years later.
That cheeseburger scene got him the X-Men movie.
Oh yeah, most enough.
Yeah. So they're getting super high. This time they're huffing paint
Paint,
fumes,
yeah.
hence the stuff on their face.
And that shot of her, that opening shot of her, is one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. Like the paint on her face, whoever
Glistening.
designed her face, the makeup,
It's
it just looked.
fantastic.
Oh my god, it was gorgeous.
It was
That
well done.
moon was just
And the
bland,
moon, yes,
you
this
know?
is like a classic kind of like monstery thing. There's a full moon. There's a dead body. We see a lizard. Like it's got all the classic things. It's like the most fucked up version of like a Law and Order open.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know.
I mean, it's
like-
a very good X-Files open.
Yes.
Again,
Right.
another really good
Yeah.
open.
And
Yeah.
Cold
that
open.
monster is also kind of a throwback to an old school monster of like the creature of the Black Lagoon, which is like old school, always like going after the lady. There it is. Boom. You're so on it.
Wow.
You're so on it,
Justin is
Justin.
on it tonight.
Did
Thank you,
Or,
Justin.
or another person. I
Look,
don't know.
whoever.
Good job,
Look-
everybody.
Looked very like it was right out of the 80s movie The Monster Squad. Like I think they used
Yeah.
that same actual
Latex
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Sitting in a,
Yeah.
sitting in
Like
a
the
costume
Florida
guy's
from
closet,
Mars,
yeah.
Yeah.
They had to like fumigate it.
Yeah.
Just put it on. 'cause it
That's
fits.
So then we go right to another kind of Easter eggy thing of Mulder tossing pencils at his poster,
At Scully's poster.
Right.
Scully's poster.
Apparently.
Which, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna backtrack really
Yeah,
quick to
go
the
ahead.
stoners.
Yes.
Uh,
Please talk about stuff.
Yeah. So I think the stone. This is something Darin did over and over in the episode, or the episode did over and over. Is people just being brutally honest?
Yes.
Like, oh well, what would you do if you were a werewolf?
I get high.
I
all the
get
time.
high all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like this beautiful. There's something kind of awesome in that motif, and
Well,
they use
also
it
that
over and
cyclical
over again.
nature of human existence.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's kind of, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Tony, always good to get it deep, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. And I also phrasing?
Phrasing?
Yeah.
We're not doing phrasing anymore?
Not doing
I
that?
also like the overusage of dude and calling
Yes.
her a dude.
I
I like
noticed
that
that
she was
so
a dude as
much.
well. I appreciate that.
And I was thinking about how so often when I see that in television or movie and I hear that dude,
Dude,
it
tries
just
too hard
grates
sometimes,
on me.
yeah.
Yeah, but he was used so perfectly here
Yeah.
that I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, okay, this
I'm okay
scene
with
feels
that.
real. This is great.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is he's throwing pencils at the poster, and to go back to the motif of being honest, he's being honest with himself and looking back upon his career and is
Yeah.
like, since we've been gone, most of the unexplained has been explained. Like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Am I really going to chase monsters in the dark? And he lists some stuff of, like, the Dark Valley racetrack, which
Oh,
was just ice,
Yeah.
and a rock creature, which is, like, a really
promotion.
shitty rock creature.
So,
And then the
Michelin Manny?
Yeah, it was Michelin Manny. Yeah, it was like the Michelin Man's like dirtbag brother.
Yeah.
didn't
So
get
was
cast
it-
in the
It's a
Neverending Story.
Flintstones version
Yeah.
of the Michelin Man.
Yeah,
Wait, was it the
Boom,
armadillo of
Flintstones joke.
Amarillo or Amarillo?
It
Was
was-
it the armadillo of
Armadillo.
Amarillo?
Armadillo
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So then Mulder's having his own like kind of midlife crisis.
Right.
And he's sort of reflective, and I like to think of this as the moment where it's like, well, Mulder's got to get his groove back.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, this was
Yeah.
absolutely
It was
how
definitely that
Mulder got his
episode.
groove back. That
Yeah.
was this episode.
Which one of my favorite things about Darin's approach to Mulder is that all the other writers tend to write him because Mulder's supposed to be the hero of the show. And so he's kind of always finding the right clues, and he seems like the cool guy. And one of the things that I think it was on Kumal's podcast when Darin did the podcast, he had talked about how they were discussing an episode, and someone said, yeah, Mulder would take out his notepad and he would like write it down, and Chris Carter had said, no, Mulder doesn't write things down.
Yeah.
And what Darin took away from that, instead of everyone else going, yeah, he's so cool, he doesn't write stuff down, Darin was like, he doesn't write stuff down. Like, who is this guy? What an idiot. And so I love
He's such an asshat.
his like his flawed character kind of characterization of Mulder is always delightful. And in his scripts, it's always Mulder kind of looking like a fool
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a lot of them, and Scully is usually more capable in figuring it out. And she, I think, again in this,
She's
that's
very
what she
she's not
does.
even in this episode.
She is.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the cool-
She's just solving it backstage, like hey, I figured it out. It's
Right.
easy. It's over.
Yeah.
I want to address one thing. Either they did dye her hair, or she's got a better wig now.
She does have
yeah.
a better wig.
So can
for
you
this one.
explain? So which wig is this? This
Okay.
is the good wig.
This is the good. So there's Wiggate again is coming up. So when they did the revival, the first episode, Scully has a middle part, and it's kind of more strawberry blondish,
Yes.
right? And the fans saw it, and they freaked the fuck out about it,
Boom.
and they were like, "What the hell is this? This isn't
Because
Scully
women
hair
don't change their hair color
or their
ever.
style.
Ever.
Never happens
It's just
from
the
the
same.
90s."
It's the same. Everybody has the same hair from the 90s.
Yeah, here we go. Look at that hair. Look at that hair there. So this is the newer wig for this one.
New wig.
So the way that they had shot the episodes, the one that became episode 2 that aired last week was supposed to be episode 5. So she had this wig on for episode 2, which was more of the side part, and it was a little bit redder.
Mm-hmm.
This one was technically the first episode where they had this new wig.
Oh,
So,
Well, we're in
because
for a
this was
surprise later
episode
down the
3, so then next week is going to go back to the middle, and the strawberry blonde, everyone's going to be like, bah! So, but the other inconsistency with them switching the order is that the office, when they go into the office, is a little less, like there's more boxes and shit, and
Yeah.
you're like, why is the poster up? And why does she call it her poster? Which makes me think, in
there's a line later.
there's a line that
Line
they
in some
probably
other-
will take out in
some
the
other
next
episode.
episode where she's gives him a poster or something.
That's so
Because
whack.
doesn't somebody kick it?
He kicks it in the
Yeah,
first one.
I mean, I assume being around Mulder means you have like a lot of these posters
Right.
hanging out.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about
They
the
burned up.
physics. Yeah, I want to know the physics of those pencils being in the ceiling for 14 years.
Right?
Oh my
That
God.
seems.
That's lazy work by the janitors.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, I don't know if
They
that's,
just
I don't
locked
know if
the
that's a
door.
failure of physics.
Wicked.
It's a failure of the janitorial staff
Yeah.
at the
The
FBI.
FBI.
Wicked dangerous
By the
to
way,
just leave those.
Just in that scene,
yes.
I think my favorite moment of that scene is when he tosses the folders, in like
like,
frustration,
"Bleh."
and then the folder, like off screen, you can keep
Hear
hearing
it
it like
falling.
bounce around, like over. It clearly like went somewhere else. I hope they
There was
kept
a
the
lot
live
of
sound, or if it
papers.
was Foley well done.
Yeah.
But like it was just so funny. I couldn't listen to anything they were saying because I was just listening to
You're
this
just
folder
listening
like
to
bounce
folder,
around off
The
screen.
innards falling apart everywhere. Yeah.
The actual armadillo running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's the fun setup there of like he's questioning his life choices and wondering if he wants to spend the rest of his life chasing monsters, and then she's like, "Guess what, buddy? Monster case."
Right.
Which is
But
fun.
not a true reversal of like she's a believer at all. You know?
No.
Right.
Just that it came in,
No.
and somebody said monster,
Right.
Yeah.
and she thinks it would make him happy,
Yeah.
but he's still sad.
Right. I feel
He's
very
still sad.
He's in his blue stage.
Yeah,
it's
right?
fine.
I feel very
Blueface.
poorly. I have a very poor understanding of how the X-Files got reopened.
Yes.
Still,
Yeah.
to this
Well,
day,
because
right?
they
It
flipped
just happened.
They just flipped it. Like I said last week, though, I think it would be really funny if they were just like a montage of them like getting back into the FBI, and it's like and she like shoots. And then she like nails it, and it's like, good job, Scully. And then it shoots Mulder's shooting, and he misses. And then she puts an alien on the target, and he shoots it, and they're like, yeah.
Well, like he clearly didn't pass his physical exam by
Oh.
that
No,
running scene
no,
later.
right?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
he's really doing like a walk run when
Right,
he's
right.
running.
He's a
The
swimmer. He should be in
FBI,
shape.
where you don't have to be in shape at all.
yeah,
Right, like,
it's
is
right.
that the-
he's
that's
in
their
shape.
mantra?
I don't want to
Yeah, I
pretend
think they
like
put it
he's
in
not
Latin,
in
Yeah,
shape.
yeah.
it's right
cardio.
there.
Yeah, I don't think he looked much worse than he's ever looked.
No, he
like
looks
it's
great.
just general television bodies have gotten much better in the
Sure,
intervening
that's
years.
true.
I don't know.
He's
He
pretty
used to be
jacked,
very
though.
spry.
Right, his
pretty
whole
jacked.
He was a
running
young
scene
man.
in Deep Throat.
Yeah,
like,
where
Oh,
he-
sure. I'm
he
not saying he
runs
wasn't
for
less
miles.
spry. Yeah.
I feel like I remember him saying, like, when they're like, "It's coming back. How do you feel?" He's like, "I'm not looking forward to night shoots and running in the dark." So I'm
Yeah.
sure you're gonna run. He's like, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna walk."
Now we need you to run to the. No,
Nope,
we
nope,
need,
he's
David,
good.
we need you to just a little.
He's like,
Just like hobble at least. Make it look like maybe we can speed it up. We'll shoot it slower.
he's too busy.
And this is a good time as any to bring this up. I don't know if you guys have already talked about this. This is well-torn territory. But since leaving the FBI, Mulder has gotten a much better fashion sense with suits. His
Oh,
suits
yeah.
are like
Yeah.
cut.
Trim.
The
Yeah.
colors are wonderful
Very
every
nice
time.
charcoal gray. to
Yeah,
that.
I
like-
mentioned this
very
last
good.
week, but the costume designer was the same person from Hannibal that came on.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure
Joyce.
that was Jillian's doing because she's like, "Give me in those nice suits."
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I just
one that I can
never
tear
looked
off
at
really
Mulder
easily.
suits
I'm
before.
glad they
Yeah.
gave her that sexy moment.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Well, let's
Yeah.
get to the sexy
I am.
moment.
I am very
All right.
glad.
So, so the next thing we see is that they're chasing down this image of what this monster is, and this image of this monster is a drawing. It's like pencil drawing. It's classic. They do this through a few different X-File episodes where there's like a drawing of a shitty thing. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it
Boom.
is.
This
Three
actually.
eyes.
So, fun fact. Jillian's daughter that she had when she was on the show, Piper.
Yeah.
Maru. Piper Maru. Yeah, she drew this because she came on as a
Wow.
art production
What?
for the
That's
revival,
awesome.
which is what Jillian's first husband was doing. He was working in the
Yeah.
art department when they
Yeah.
met, and so now her daughter
That's
drew
pretty
this
cool.
for the revival, which is pretty cool.
That's
There's
fantastic.
just so much nepotism
Yeah.
in Hollywood, right?
If
Like,
it was a shitty picture, you could say that, but it was like a pretty. That's
well, we don't
great.
know what number that was. Maybe
All
she
right.
spent 3 weeks coming up with that
So?
or something.
You don't do your science
Oh my
immediately, and it's
God.
amazing.
I did my best though.
Yeah, I
don't
kind
know
of
how
hope that
science
they had
works.
that picture with the 3 eyes.
Yeah.
But independently, they were making the creature.
Yes.
So they had to write those lines in about
Yeah,
the
they're
eyes.
like, who knows?
Well, I can't redraw the
somebody-
picture.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I can't
Piper
just
drew it.
forget.
This took me like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like we literally will be
I can't possibly.
over budget and like
This-
out of production by the time I
This
get
is my
this right
first
again.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mom,
My mom's gonna be
they
pissed.
say I have to redraw it.
I threw away my erasers.
She's got a 6-figure salary for these these drawings.
You said everything is perfect if I do it.
Just saying.
You know, we're-
Yeah, so anyway.
acknowledge.
So the next thing that happens is there's a scene of the crime where the stoners were attacked by the lizard. And Kumail Nanjiani was also attacked. We see him briefly in the beginning, and then they see the bodies that were left by this giant tree, and one of them being naked. And this is also, I think, I didn't realize this at the time, but this time in watching it, I was like, oh, they're in the woods with bodies, and this was sort of a Clyde Bruckman, because he's in the woods and they're searching for a body, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a fun like throwback to Clyde Bruckman a little bit. Yeah, here they are in the woods. And she's kind of
they spend a lot of time in the woods.
Right.
I mean,
it could be a throwback to literally almost any
Right.
X-Files
Well, yeah.
episode.
but at the same time,
It's
give me
Darin.
this.
We're in
guy.
Darin
I'm not
mode.
going to give you that at all.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Just because there was no woods last episode,
Right. When in LA,
that's more of the
where do
rarity
they
than
film
anything
woods?
else.
Did they go to Vancouver just to shoot the wood
Right?
scenes?
No, they probably went to Big Bear.
No, there's
Yeah,
plenty
they-
of woods in the area.
There's trees in LA sometimes.
Are there?
Yeah.
Camille looks really young on camera too.
Yeah, he
like,
does.
I know he's not. I know he's like 30s-ish.
Probably
All
like-
right, that's not
yeah,
like
late
old.
70s.
All right, let's
Oh God, come on! But I was like in his photo, in his like file photo. I was
No.
like,
Looks really
God, he
young
looks
here.
so like they hand grab from the past that
I
photo.
don't know. Well, the thing that's fun to me about that wood scene is that it's sort of a reverse of Scully's sort of more excited about the case.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
Mulder's kind of like debunking it, being like, it's wolves, or there's mountain
Bears.
lions, and there's bears, and like, again, there is a throwback that Darin acknowledged as Mulder talking about, well, that's how I'd like to go, is being attacked by whatever and being naked. And that, to Darin, was a throwback a little bit to Clyde Bruckman about how Mulder would die.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's
Which Clyde Bruckman...
that's deep. That's going
yeah,
deep.
that goes deep. That's a little bit
Yeah.
of a reach for Darin to say, yeah,
That might be headcanon only.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, headcanon.
Headcanon, I love that.
Yeah.
But and also along that
Yeah.
that like role reversal,
Yeah.
and I'm jumping forward.
No,
but
it's
we
fine.
could-
Go
but,
ahead. Continue.
But you know, when me and my lady, we were watching this, we would come up with this thing that we'd yell at the screen
Yeah.
always, and that was "A man is dead, Mulder," right?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
And Scully does that. Scully does that line this time,
Yeah.
right? Is the Scully's boxers or briefs?
Yeah.
You know, you're like, we're investigating this crime, Scully, but that
Yeah.
boxers or brief line
Good.
at any other point would have been a Mulder line.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
Scully
Sure.
was like,
Yeah,
was like
Scully's-
whipping it out. You know?
It's 2016. I can make jokes too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just caught up when she was interrogating the hooker.
Yes.
The
Yes.
cokehead.
Mhm,
Yeah,
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 and
yeah,
he
yeah.
was like wearing underwear, and she's like boxers or briefs. He's like
Yeah.
inappropriate time to say that, you know, like don't.
Yeah, let's get into the trans person
Yeah, okay.
here in this
Okay.
moment.
The crackhead.
Let's get into the crackhead.
Yeah.
There is an image of the
Release the crackhead.
Ooh, yeah.
Well
the
done.
transgendered person,
Yeah.
which was a man that had transitioned into a woman, and they're interviewing because the lizard creature had attacked her, and she
Because
hit it
she
with
was
her
at
bag,
a truck stop.
picking up.
Right.
Propositioning.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
Working her job.
Right.
She gotta earn that money. Yeah, here she is.
She's just hustling.
In nice little outfit,
Just,
trying to have some fun at night.
She did look good.
She looked good.
Hustle.
So the interesting thing to me, and I'm pretty sure the social justice warriors of the internet are probably like
They're eating this episode up.
check minusing that part.
There's a
Yeah.
couple parts actually.
Where it's a transgender person, and they ask her. The cops didn't listen to me because they think I'm on crack, and they're like, "Are you?" And she's like, "Yeah," which is a funny line, but I'm
It's a
also
great-
like, "Is this helping the cause?"
Oh.
It's
So
a
wait,
great-
is-
it
wait,
is a
is-
good
wait.
joke line.
What will people get upset about it because
Because
they're
it's a tr-
suggesting that transgendered people all do crack? Is that
I think some
Really?
people who are not
There's the
as
Midwestern portion of the
cultured-
United States.
Yeah.
I don't
But I
know.
would assume that they've reached such a level of acceptance
Mm.
that you're actually allowed to make fun of them,
Mm.
See, but I think
or accept that they're
I
not
think
make
there's
fun
certainly a
No.
portion of the like that.
yes.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm understanding now.
It's the portion of the internet that just dislikes anything.
No, it's representing a marginalized community in any way that it could be construed as negative, right? Yeah,
But
okay, I
would
can
say
see that.
I would think by now they've reached a level that they can be made fun of, or they can be put in any situation, whether that be being a crackhead or not.
Or
a
running for
CEO.
president.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
we're the same joke as different.
I did
I upped
enjoy
it for you.
the second.
President, crackhead,
Send him to
transgender.
space.
We've already had a crackhead president. The second interaction with, or the second conversation about the transgender
Yes.
person
Yeah.
was much more interesting to me because it was a little more nuanced. Because it
Yes.
was like, we're two middle-aged white men.
Right.
Yeah.
Talking, yeah,
Like I'm gonna pretend that I know what's going on here.
right.
And I'm gonna try to talk through it, but I don't really get it.
I don't understand. Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
was so excited when he heard Guy Man was so
Guy Man,
excited
yeah.
when he heard about it because he was like, oh,
He's
look,
like,
can,
oh,
I, can
let's
that
do
work?
that.
Can I?
Yeah.
All those problems, which, as a good representation always is, we're looking for the quick fix to fix the things that we don't like about
Oh,
ourselves,
so deep.
right? I
Oh,
mean, this whole
man.
thing is a
This
metaphor
guy.
of like the problems of humanity, and he was
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited when he thought a surgery could solve everything.
Right.
Surgery could solve all of his problems.
He really
you know?
had inhabited the man that he had become.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
my gosh.
One might say the Guy Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely
Amazing.
a guy, man.
If he did get the operation, he'd be Guy Woe Man.
Oh, man. You are killing it right now.
And I'm gonna stop
3
talking.
pointers for
Costanza
days.
it. I'm
Yeah,
out.
I'm out. So the next character we predominantly finally meet is Kumal Ninjami as Pasha. We do have an image of him. He is an animal control.
Oh, look at that.
There he is. There he is.
Ooh,
this is the kind of
wow.
image that makes him look young.
Yes.
Yeah, that was his,
Smoldering.
when
He's
he.
Mulder. He's like, hey,
Right?
That was when he
I'm in the
auditioned for
X-Files.
Twilight.
I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah. Which he
Oh,
did, actually.
yeah. The Kamal Twilight.
But I
so.
also have an image of him in character where he has the net and like a neck thing that he's holding.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they
Alligator
creep up on
catcher?
him. There he
There we
is.
go, yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
He's like, ugh.
It's not
they-
exclusively for
They meet him,
alligators.
and he immediately pretty much
Snappy
pusses
turtle.
out and runs away.
Yeah,
Ninja Turtle, maybe.
Is,
definitely.
was there an animal
Midget's
control expert in Quagmire? Was that who
There-
the helpful one
there was, like, a
at the
ranger
lake?
guy.
There was
Okay,
a
he
ranger that
yeah,
was
he
like
a-
not helpful though.
Okay, well, you know, I mean, he was the local
Yeah.
helper.
Yeah.
Whether or not he was
Yeah.
actually helpful,
Helpful.
Yeah,
yeah.
who knows?
But I wasn't sure if he was a ranger or if he was actually an animal
And
control
I'm
guy.
sure there
But
The
Yeah,
only
because of the
other episode
ending
that
of
has like a
Quagmire.
really big animal control part is the one with the dog.
Oh,
Like
the
the
Bad
guy-
Cujo one?
Yeah, the bad Cujo one.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah.
Alpha in season 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of that has like a lot of animal control.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
And there's a lot of animal
Well, the
control
zoo-
in that.
the
It's like the
zoo-
LA budget for animal control is like larger than the LAPD in that one.
There he is. I just want to say, like, I think it's really fun for Kumal as a fan of the X-Files for so many years to be
Yeah.
able to get onto his favorite show by his favorite writer.
Yeah.
Like, what a win for you as a
Yeah.
human being.
Well
and
done,
to be able
sir.
to
Yeah,
not just
I mean,
yeah, round
there's
of
a
applause,
high level
round
of
applause.
jealousy for pretty much everybody else.
Yeah,
in the whole
I was kind of
world.
like,
entire
good
planet.
for you,
Right.
Kumal. Like,
Yeah.
Great,
Um,
so you're just a little bit more famous than me.
Right.
And you get this invite for this.
You didn't even make 201 episodes of
So-
anything.
You haven't even finished the podcast series yet, right? Like,
Right?
Come on, man.
come on, you only had to do a third of
Yeah,
them when he got the
season
call
4?
for it.
yeah, he's on season 4. He was busy being on the X-Files.
Oh, I
he
get
took
it.
a long break. He took a long
Don't you defend him.
I know.
He was only a third of the way through,
He
is
was
what I'm
also
saying.
on like
Yeah.
Franklin and Bash for a long time before that too.
Well,
right?
he's on the
Wait a minute. You've seen Franklin and Bash?
Oh no.
No.
I worked in casting. and I
Oh,
checked
no,
his
no,
veil.
no, 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 no.
No
Oh, no,
one
no,
has
no.
seen
Don't
that.
misconstrue my words, please.
People have seen him on Silicon Valley on
Yeah,
HBO.
That's more
so
relevant.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, no.
So thus begins. Let's get off that train.
We can
Thus
have a Franklin and
begins.
Bash right here.
All right.
Welcome back to the Franklin and Bash Bash.
It's on that, it's after that show, about that
We're
show,
gonna
after
be-
the show. The
We're gonna be
aliens.
here live. It's like Relay to Life, but Relay for Life, but it's here. We're gonna be on live until they bring that show back.
No.
Breckenmeyer's
that's
gonna
great.
walk in
There
here in a
you go.
second. I know it. I fucking know it.
He's just been
So
pacing.
after the X-Files is done, what we're going to do is just like rewatches of it, right?
Yeah,
And then
that's
do the analysis.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
I want to get off of this
Franklin
train
and Bash Bash.
so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
I'm
Bash,
sorry.
yeah.
Title itself
I'm with
is
you.
This train is just like. Anyway, thus begins the quest of Mulder to try to use his smartphone to catch the monster, because
Just love
as
that.
the difference between the 90s show,
flash.
the difference between the 90s show is, you know, cell phones were big and bulky, and the
Everything has a camera now.
everything has a camera now. Yeah,
Scully
so
and
here
Tully.
he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
here
Look,
he
I can
is
see
with
you.
his smartphone, and he's
I
like
do
so
love-
excited to be able to try to get a picture of it.
That he runs after a dangerous animal without his gun in his hand.
And
Like,
he has this
like Scully's in the background, like ready to shoot anything that comes around the corner, and he's like, "Camera!"
And
It's
they
just like a so
routinely- yeah.
absurd.
They used to routinely have flashlights and
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they'd be able to.
think
He,
Scully
I
had
mean,
one.
he
Yeah.
would have
She
been.
did. She
He
had
could
a
have.
gun
He
and
could have
flashlight.
easily had it
Right.
set up with his.
Right.
And why would you take taking pictures? Why not video? I don't
He
understand.
did at one
He
point
does
take
take
a
a
video.
video.
Because
Yeah,
it's
but-
this new photo app. He
It's
like
a
doesn't
new
know
app.
how to do it.
Listen,
he doesn't
he's-
know
Because
his thing.
he's an old white man.
Yes.
Sure.
Who lived
Yeah.
in the woods for a long time?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
he
he lost the
did.
grid for a
He
minute.
did.
Right.
One of
I
my
love
favorite
that
lines
beard.
I
He'd be
did.
in a whole different.
I did
like,
really
part of the
enjoy.
FBI.
Yeah, I did really enjoy when he's trying to take a picture and Kamal's like, "What's wrong with your phone?" and he just keeps flashing. He's like, "It's a new app," and he's like, "Go to settings." And just like the tone he had was exactly the tone I have to my parents when
What
they're like,
sounds-
"I don't get it." I'm like, "Go to settings, Jesus."
It also
Do you remember
sounds
your
identical
password?
to Portlandia, where he was that like. Do you remember that first episode he did? He was like a tech.
No.
It was like go back to like season
Yeah?
1 of
Alright,
Portlandia. He's
alright.
like in a wireless store. It's great. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh yeah. Here's the comparison of cell
Ooh, look at
phones.
that.
Look at
Oh.
this. Look
that
at
Nokia?
this.
Yeah,
This was a
Nokia
Nokia.
product, I think.
And then we got screens, we got touch, but this was like beep boop boop. To
That
text.
Nokia phone they were actually able to use to beat a man to death with.
Yes, very heavy, like
Just
a brick.
very supportive and just
Yeah.
doesn't. It's like titanium on the inside. It's
Yeah,
Wow.
gave you a lot of cancer.
Yeah.
Probably. A lot of cancer.
Gun fail, throw phone.
Yeah,
click, click. Boom, took him out.
good.
There it is.
Okay, so Mulder gets, of course, attacked, and him and Kumal get attacked, and they're screaming and yelling, and he gets blood in his face. And then you have the classic. This is another classic kind of X-File moment of Scully being like, "Oh no, Mulder's hurt" or whatever,
Right.
and she runs over, flashlight and gun ablazing.
Sure.
Finds
Proper
him,
protocol.
and then classic medical doctor is like, "Oh, are you hurt?
There's blood all over you.
Oh, there's blood on you.
It's
Let
not
me check."
mine. It's not mine.
Classic. I love Scully doctoring him, being like, "Oh no."
So good.
And then Kumal quits. Oh yeah, there he is. He's screaming and he's got
Oh.
I love that show.
blood
Yeah, you got the blood in his
in
mouth.
his mouth.
Yeah.
More or
Also.
less.
Full
Which, you know what?
dedication to the
Let's
character.
be
and
honest,
the
if he
scene
found
right
the
there.
blood on the scene, he'd be like, dip, dip, like, he eats evidence all the fucking time. So, this is just cutting out the middleman and just getting the evidence
Squirting
right.
it
So you
right
don't
into
think
his
this
mouth.
is a deep callback to Scully eating the cricket in Humbug?
Oh, shit.
No.
Wow. Tony, I didn't
I
even
do
think
want
of
to see
that.
more cricket.
No, I don't think that's that at all.
You don't. You
That's,
don't.
that's headcanon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Headcanon once again. Yeah.
That's headcanon.
That's 2 headcanons for
Two
Tony.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my own
Go for a hat
headcanon.
trick.
We gotta
Seriously.
speed this up. We're only at the first commercial break.
Yeah, relax.
This is an
Is
hour-long
this- yeah,
show.
Is
This
that,
is
is
fine.
that time accurate?
We
Yeah,
got it,
yeah,
we got it.
We got it.
Oh,
got
okay,
it.
sure.
So Kumal quits. He runs. He like his peace out. Then they chase into the porta potty where we finally meet sort of the were monster
Guy
that
Man.
we don't know. Guy Man. Also, how do you pronounce this guy's name?
Reese Darby.
Reese Darby. Okay.
Ooh, so
So
funny.
Reese Darby is from Flight of the Conchords.
Well, yes, but also.
Go ahead, Dalex. Give us
Yep.
a rundown.
You might remember him from a feature film called What We Do in the Shadows, where he played not a swearwolf, but a werewolf.
Get out, really?
Yeah.
Yes, very
Oh,
true.
good for
Yeah.
him.
Man,
He's
I really
very
thought
funny.
you were gonna say Franklin the Bash.
That
Oh,
would
my
be
Franklin and Bash
awful
reference are.
if
I'm
he
gonna tag them all at the end.
But,
Just gonna one after the
so
other.
You're on fire,
fun
buddy.
fact about him, and you had asked me what was he dressed as, because he's got the fedora and he's got this like white
Yeah, 'cause-
blazer on.
I went too deep. I thought that he was dressed like Jacques Tati's Mon
There it
Oncle character.
Wow.
Yeah, Monsieur Hulot.
I don't
And
even know
that's
what
I
half
was
those
thinking.
words are yet. You're
So I
saying.
had to, so I went a little too, and I was looking, and I was like, okay, this is headcanon. Like so I just
Okay.
asked, yeah. So,
So
that's Colleen.
this is actually a throwback to the original Kolchak from The Night Stalker.
yeah.
Kolchak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Because
So
that
that's
was
what that
always
is.
what
That's super
Carter
cool.
said was one of his biggest.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a big influence for Chris Carter and for X-Files, for the X-Files in general. So then we go to the autopsy scene, and this is a really fun bit between Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
Scully is doing her usual autopsying, and Mulder is like just fucking it up, and like over her shoulder being like, "Hey, look at this picture, look at this one," which is a throwback to me to Quagmire when he's going through all the pictures, and he's like, "Well, this could be a foot."
Yeah.
or a
Oh yeah,
tooth."
that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's
Oh,
blurry, and
yes.
she's like, "It's blurry. I don't know what the hell you're
a
talking
tooth."
about."
Yeah.
So it's, this is to me like classic like married people,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he's like, "Look at this thing," and she's like, "Leave me alone. I'm trying to
work."
cook dinner." You know,
Yeah.
like
Stop poking me with that.
Yeah.
It seemed very. Like,
Going to sleep.
yeah,
very. Very. Like, I know it's very bad bloody,
yes,
right?
a
And
little
then there's
bit.
this scene later.
Yeah.
So there was a lot in it.
Yeah.
That,
So he tries to show her the video, which is just the blood in the eyes. My favorite part though is she's like, "Animals don't shoot blood out of their eyes," and he's like, "Oh yeah, then tell that to this lizard that shoots blood out of its eyes." My favorite part about that is he had to have that queued up.
Oh yeah.
Like he knew she was gonna be
knew.
like
Yeah.
no, and he was gonna be like, "Well, bam, technology."
Again, classic married couple.
Classic married couple
Yeah.
thing. Of, "You're wrong." Right, Ben?
What?
Good. Yeah, we're married. Yeah, so there's yeah, so he's got the lizard up and ready. It looks like there's some kind of a human bite. So they have this moment of like, well, this is silly. We're looking for a lizard. That's a man, also, potentially. And he's like, oh, you're having a little fun with it. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot how much fun these cases can be.
Which I think is a really nice like statement of like, remember how good
Yes.
Monsters of the Week are.
Yeah.
Monsters right there.
And how convoluted mythology can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it's also nice because they're so, like, in a lot of, especially the last one, like, they're so kind of, like, sad and torn by their life choices, and then they're in this one just, like, having fun, and it's nice to see not just him kind of having fun, but her having fun.
Yeah.
Like, Scully
Yeah.
smiling is, like, so rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the monster hanging out. So, then she's like, go to sleep, go
Go
sleep and go away, and we cut to Mulder asleep,
Sleep
shirtless.
in different rooms.
Yeah, sleeping in different rooms. But the art direction for that hotel room,
Was
amazing.
Yeah.
Taxidermied
Question.
things everywhere.
good.
I might be premature in this, but
Sure.
wasn't the hotel manager also a fortune teller from Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose?
Yes,
Okay, that's
he
all.
is.
He's in
And
a lot of them.
Yeah, he's been in a couple.
He's in Humbug as well
And
as the sideshow
Wait, is
Yeah.
owner inside the sideshow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great guy?
he's in a bunch of those.
Yeah.
The great,
No. The
No.
great, the
He's
stupendous
a tarot
Yappy.
card
Yes.
reader.
No,
He's a tarot
he's
card
and
reader?
he's also
Right.
in,
He's in Humbug.
Jose Chung as the psychologist, the
hypnotist.
the hypnotist.
The
That you're
hypnotist.
getting very sleepy.
Yes.
Oh,
He is.
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then we discover that the hotel is actually, he is a peeper. He's a peeping Tom. And
With
we
the
have
jackalope mask.
with
by
the
the way.
jackalope
Little
mask.
callback.
And there's a
Head
super
in.
meta moment of Mulder discovering this with having Fox Mulder looking through the fox eyes
Yeah.
and seeing Scully sleeping, and then he kind of calls him out on it, and
We get the clip of the Speedo.
we get a clip of Mulder in a Speedo, which is a super throwback to a fan
Or,
moment.
I guess red
Yeah.
But
whitey tighties.
who knows if he actually was wearing it? He was shirtless when he woke up, but this was the manager's perspective.
Oh, we know
of the
he was
story.
definitely wearing it.
So he's wearing the red Speedo in the manager's
There's also really
perspective.
like in the cod piece area,
Yeah, it's pretty
very
big.
well endowed.
Yeah,
well,
it's
I mean,
like-
There he is.
he's
I did not see
traveling.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? He's got
He's
like a big
traveling
dick.
for work. He's got to be ready to go swimming at any moment.
Yeah, you never know.
That's true.
Like a
Ready
big
for
dick.
adventure.
So then we kind of get out of here.
I heard you.
He transforms. We see the hotel manager sees the guy as the lizard man,
Yeah.
and he's
He was drinking
transformed.
rubbing alcohol. Did everybody
I
catch
think
that?
so, right?
Which
Oh
I
yeah.
thought
Oh
was-
yeah. He
Which I
absolutely
thought
did.
was great. I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't understand if I get this.
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
Because
Yeah.
he was so
Drinking-
scared, he just saw a monster and he
just going
didn't
to
have
town.
alcohol
And he
available.
just wanted
to
so he
go
just started-
blind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we have
Scientist.
I don't know if he diluted it or
Science.
not.
You never know. But okay, so then Mulder goes on his wonderful
Oh,
rant
my bad.
about this and that. He goes on a monster rant, and
Monster
we have
rant.
a nice moment of Scully being like, "Ah, yes, this is the Mulder."
I mean, it's like basically
this
her
is how I
third
like my
line of
Mulder.
the episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
but it's a good line. It's
yeah.
his third
I mean,
line.
she had great lines. They
And
just
she's
weren't a
smiled.
lot.
And she
really
smiled.
upset about
She's
the
also-
lack of
I
Scully.
really am.
Why?
I don't like the fact that like it was so small.
But
It's like
he's-
so light on
He's the
Scully.
one wrestling with the choices
Yeah.
of his life.
You don't think she
I
could be a part of
empathize
it?
with. No, she likes what she does.
But also the whole part about this is Mulder's narcissism is such like a focal point
Sure,
of the
yeah.
show, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when you have the show of him wrestling with his own narcissistic problems, there's literally a scene where he does a dialogue by himself.
Yes.
Like literally,
Yeah.
it's like a 5-minute. Like clearly, that is a big part of the show. Scully's over sexualization, which is not usual,
Yeah.
and her absence of actually like doing anything. I mean, she actually does it,
No,
but
she
you don't
does all of
see,
it,
but you don't
yeah.
see her doing any of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this whole manifestation of like Mulder's overt narcissism and inability to see anything outside of his own world?
Yes.
Like, so I think her not being there is kind of part of what's important about the
Yes.
episode.
Also,
Right.
fun fact: in that scene, she had no pants on.
True.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
In that bed scene.
Is that a fun fact
It's
or
a
a
fun
fun
fact.
imaginary
No, she
Colleen
doesn't have
thought? Is that
pants on.
headcanon?
It isn't headcanon, and it's real canon. She doesn't have pants on. And
She's like, please put up the picture right
put up
now.
the picture of her in this sweatshirt and in the bed. She's got
Oh,
a
right.
t-shirt on, which
It looks like this.
it looks like
it
that.
looks like that.
It looks like that. It has maroon
But
on
what
it.
should it have looked like?
I read an article right after the episode came out. Darin Morgan said that she was supposed to be wearing a New York Knicks t-shirt, which is Mulder's New York Knicks t-shirt, which would have blown my fucking mind.
Wide open.
But
Because he only cut the sleeves off in
Yeah.
that episode.
No, that's not the right shirt. But that's overly
oh,
sexualized.
That's overly
Yeah,
sexualized
We
too.
can leave that up though.
Yeah,
really
just
like
leave
that
that
part.
one for the rest
Yeah.
of the.
I think
Yeah.
that was just an outtake from the fall.
Right.
Great ratings. This
Yeah.
is gonna put the ratings through the roof.
Scully being
On,
a
on
porn
the
actress.
episode,
Yeah.
this TV, YouTube show.
Yeah, man. Oh, the sex scene
Oh
right now.
man,
my
brought
God.
out.
Get out of
Because
here.
there's no sex on the internet.
Yeah, no. I can't wait for the
Not starring
There's
Dana
going to be
Scully.
an amazing manipulation
Probably
of someone
is.
putting Mulder's head on
Oh,
an ad.
yeah.
Eventually, it will exist, and it will become my
Tomorrow,
head
feasibly.
I hope it's really bad Photoshop
Oh,
too.
it's gonna
like,
be
you know,
super
just like
bad.
the
It's gonna be
edges.
He'll be like
Uh,
facing
and he's
you.
look right, exactly. Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to know.
He's kissing her neck and staring at
She
you.
also has a great line, even maybe her fourth line, where she says the first Mulder, it's me in the series.
Does she?
Yeah,
Oh, I
when
missed
she
that.
calls him from outside the fake phone store. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
That's
there we
the
go.
T-shirt.
So how do you know
Supposed
she's
to
in
be a
her
New York
underpants?
Knicks T-shirt. Well, there was a wider shot, and it was just her bare legs. I
Could she
swear
wear
to God,
shorts?
Wow.
she was not wearing
No.
shorts.
Well, I
That's
mean, she
short.
was sleeping in that shirt. So yeah, I imagine
She's
Scully's
a
the type of
lady.
lady who's not
Well,
wearing pants to bed.
which
Right?
is
Oh
it?
yeah.
Which
Sorry.
episode when the in season 1 where you see the mosquito bite?
That's the pilot.
Oh, that's the
That's the
pilot.
pilot.
she
yeah.
shows him. She shows off
She
everything.
shows that she doesn't wear pants.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, right, right to
Okay,
the
so
underwear
then we
line.
get to the cemetery, and Mulder's going after Guy Man.
Mm-hmm.
And in the cemetery, there's this tombstone for Jack Hardy, who was the first AD from the X-Files, and Kim Manners, the beloved. There he is. Kim Manners, the beloved director who
Let's
died.
kick it in the ass.
Let's kick it in the ass. And then we get into Guy's whole theory. First, he tries to get Mulder to kill him by baiting him to kill him.
Yeah.
Oh
Which
no,
is
I
fantastic.
dropped my
oh,
weapon.
no,
Yeah.
please don't kill me.
Not the
A
gun,
then
very,
he's-
fool.
a very interesting take on suicide. by
Right,
police.
right. And then he's like, he says, okay, I'll kill you if you tell me your story. And then it becomes this sort of reverse werewolf tale of a lizard
creature.
who was bit by a human, Kumal Nanjiani, and then became a human.
And it had human impulses.
And it was the very existential honesty of life of like, well, I became aware of my existence.
I mean, it was just reverse Kafka. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had to put on clothes and get a job
And then
to pay my bills.
then I
In
bullshit.
For
hopes
my-
of getting a mortgage.
Yeah.
for my mortgage.
My
which
favorite-
I
I'm
don't
not
know what
saving
it
up for
is.
retirement.
Yeah, I'm not saving up for retirement. My favorite thing is, though, if I'm not going to write my novel, I'm never going to write
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's fantastic. Everybody's like midlife crisis
Yep. Yeah.
conversation with themselves.
I haven't done it yet.
The one thing that I wondered about for you guys, I want to get your gauge on this. The CG of him turning into the monster.
Oh, I mean, it's like a
and
nice
back.
classic.
It looks like a classic cheesy, and I
Yeah.
was wondering if they did that on
I'm
purpose.
sure they did it on purpose.
Oh, it looked a lot better than a lot of the graphics in the first episode of the revival. Like, what do you
Right?
like?
Sure.
yeah.
Or
You
even
thought so?
like
Better than Alien Butt.
Better
Oh,
than Alien, but
okay.
Yeah.
It looks
yeah.
better.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like
loved
the-
it,
I
'cause
like
I'm not-
callbacks to
such
that.
a- I'm such a dork for those sort of
Yeah.
effects. Like,
And
that
having
looked
watched a
great.
lot of Grimm because I worked on it for so long,
Yeah.
it looks a lot better than what they're currently working with. No offense, Grimm guys, but let's
Yeah,
be
that
real.
was jeez.
But like the in between shots of him like half painted and then like
I
it's like
loved
the
it.
slow
I loved that. I
motion.
thought
Yeah,
it was
really good.
great.
Okay.
Whoever's working
that's
I
Very
fair.
did
close.
have
Is
that
working their
moment
butt
though
off.
where like the commercial ended after he does this whole story. I was like, that was just like 20 minutes of this guy talking.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was
Which
amazing.
is great, though.
It was
Just like-
as if the script came in a whole act short. And
Right.
it's like, Darin, television's 41 minutes?
Yeah.
And then-
I'll let him monologue.
It's fine.
And then the best part, the whole part, is he takes all this time, and then in like classic Darin Morgan, this is like War of the Copperphages straight, is they're like, well, why? And he's like, what do you mean why? There's no external logic to it.
Right.
And then
Right,
it's like,
right.
that whole 20-minute thing I told you doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
there's no lesson to be learned from
No.
this. Like,
Well, my favorite
just
was
narrative.
when he gets
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
When he gets food, and he's in the fast food thing, and they're like, "Sir, you can't order
Yeah,
without the card." He's like, "Why?" It's a hard cut out, which I think so many of us who have been like drunk at night who just want fast food, we're like,
right.
"Why?
Taco
Why do I
Bell.
have to be in a car?"
I do like that he adopts a dog.
Yes,
Like
the
just-
dog. Which
His first
Ben
like
has wanted a dog for so long.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I would give you more leeway on us getting a dog if we call it Daku.
yeah, okay.
There you
Done.
go.
Which I
Done.
had
Let's get a
read
dog on the way
today-
home.
Which I had,
Plenty of places to
I
adopt
had
in LA.
yeah, I had read today.
At 9:40.
Yeah, it's
It could happen.
It could happen. I had read today that actually that's another throwback to Moby Dick. That's like another harpoonist or
Oh,
something
really?
from
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
from
that's
yeah.
funny.
So it's another Moby Dick thing.
Yeah.
And then, but I think it's so
I
funny.
got to learn them to read that.
Yeah. Well, then the funny thing is, like, he learns to love in a day, and then the dog is gone, and he's immediately devastated. Which, like, so many of us. Yeah. So many of us want that, and then they're gone. And he looks for him in the hotel parking lot, and that's where he meets Pasha again, and wants to seek his revenge and sees Pasha killing somebody again. And then he's transformed, and he doesn't want to be a human anymore. He, like, hates being a human, which I love, because
We all hate being
we
human.
all
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
humans.
Or hate humans in general.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Both of those statements are 100% factual.
Yeah. And then, of course, that's when he talks about going back to his job. He wants to quit his job, but he can't. And then he meets Scully, pretends that he has a fantasy that he has sex with her. Get in line.
So good.
Yeah.
Such good fantasy.
It was a nice little like.
She had like, it was some like real nice cleavage.
Yeah.
Some good jiggle to it. Like, she looks very healthy.
It was perfect, Darin. Though it's like, are you starting to believe this narrator? Let me make sure you know they're unreliable.
Everything about this could be
And
not
it's
true.
classic, that's a good cutaway of, like, that did not happen.
Yeah.
Like,
It didn't happen.
I do really also like her being like, guys aren't sending pictures of their junk. How that's happening. Her ability to play porn actress, also great.
Yeah.
She can do it all.
She's just a regular, like, actress.
Yeah.
Like, she can
She's just doing the
She
porn,
can
too.
act.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything.
But then the
It's
fun
not
thing
that
is, so
surprising.
Mulder still hasn't come to his place of realization where he still thinks, this is too silly, this can't be true, I don't believe you, kind of a
Right.
thing. And
Gets drunk in the graveyard.
yeah, then he gets drunk in the graveyard. I love that his cell phone is the X-Files
X-Files theme.
theme.
Yeah,
It's
that was
very
nice.
super meta. Then Scully's hanging out at Animal Control with
Where
Darin.
she knows.
She knows everything.
She knows that
Right,
he's
I
the
feel
bad
like She
guy.
should have had her gun out more
Yeah,
often.
like been like a little bit more like ready for it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she was because she won.
Which,
Right.
yeah. Again, the Scully in trouble trope reversal. Another
Yes.
reversal is like Scully always gets into trouble,
Right.
and then like Mulder's like, ah, and this time Scully's like, no,
He's like, no, I got
I
it.
got it. It's under
NVM,
control.
yeah, NVM got
he
this.
just had like.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know if you noticed, but I kept in shape when we left the
Yeah.
FBI.
Have you seen
didn't,
Hannibal?
Right? Like, I'm ready to go.
She's like he only attacked her with like
The getter rope.
Right.
yeah.
The alligator noose.
Killed 7 people with that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Would
works.
have been fairly successful.
Yeah, but she
Eating
was
their
like,
throats.
uh-uh.
I did like that he was ready with his like serial killer speech, and they're like, yeah, no, whatever.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it started when I was young. Yeah.
Like, no, we've heard it before. Like,
No,
he's like,
it's
but I have
okay.
a speech.
Yeah.
Is that a callback too? Because I think they say that exact verbatim when they're making fun of a vague profile earlier.
They were
which,
making
yeah.
fun in Clyde Bruckman. They made.
Was it Clyde
Yeah,
Bruckman?
yeah, yeah.
They
Okay.
make
Oh
something
yeah,
of,
yeah.
let me
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you what I see. The letter SN or 7. It's near water and.
Yeah,
all
oh, I
these
thought it
things.
was exact that it started when I was young. I
No.
started killing.
No,
that doesn't
no,
happen
it's
at
not.
any
But
point.
that is
No,
kind
it
of a
doesn't.
classic serial killer.
It doesn't
thing.
happen.
Okay.
We
It's
watched
not
it
in the
last night.
Yeah, it's not.
Class.
No, I'm not saying
Clyde
Clyde
Bruckman.
Bruckman. I'm saying
some
in an
point.
I mean, I just watched all
I'm sure.
201 in the last like 3 months. So like,
They're
I'm
all.
pretty sure it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if they
That's
call
a
it.
classic serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not
he's aware.
Oh, okay, good.
I am just surprised that there wasn't a
He's
tiny
aware.
little fat white stormtrooper in this.
Oh, I know.
It's like-
that would have been good.
Missed
Nazi
opportunity.
stormtrooper?
Yeah.
It's hard to find those propane tanks. Like they don't just
Right.
grow on
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
They spent all the art department money on
That
the
sketch.
drawing.
Yeah. Oh, for
On
sure.
Piper's drawing, just tanked the budget. Yeah, nope.
Still managed to make a good episode. So I'm
Yeah.
Yeah,
not-
well, I mean, really, it relied really heavily on the acting,
Yeah.
not on the art
Right.
department.
Yes. So the dog Scully blatantly calls out does remind her of Queequeg, which
Yeah.
is a dog that
Yeah.
was in separate episodes.
Right.
And she then, I love that she did, this is such like a girlfriend thing to do, to be like, did you know there was this study where there was like dogs connected to, and she's just kind of like vamping to him on the
Yeah,
phone, which
yeah.
I think is delightful. She says, then she misses the dog and misses maybe like someone to hold her grudges for her at night, which initially in my brain I thought she was saying someone to hold me at night. I was like, yes, but no, it was grudges. That's
Just,
fine.
Yeah.
just dog grudge.
I
Super
was-
for life.
Yeah. I was nervous.
But I could say it's a throwback to I Want to Believe, where he takes her grudge from her
Yeah.
at night.
Look at
I was
you.
nervous
Look at
that
you.
it was going to lead to some convoluted subplot where like the animal control guy was like taking on the rage from the dogs and like that
Oh,
was
no.
causing him to kill people.
That
Oh,
would be
nice.
a
That would be
problem.
nice. Good
That
X-Files.
would
that would
be
have been
a
that would have been a much
super
more
problem.
She does make a comment about herself being immortal.
She does,
Yeah.
which is
She goes, 'cause
fantastic.
I'm immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all know.
Which comes
Is
from
truth.
comes from Clyde Bruckman's
Right.
Final Repose, where the guy can tell how people are gonna die.
Peter Boyle says.
She spends time with him, trying to tell why she doesn't want to know about her fate because it could backfire, and then before she goes to leave him, she's like, "Okay, how do I die?" And he says,
You don't?
You don't. Yeah.
and that was Darin Morgan's way of like, I don't want to fucking make up a way
Yeah.
that she dies.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the whole fans were like, she's immortal. And so, but then in a later season, 3 seasons later, there was another guy who took pictures of people. He knew when they were gonna die, and he was immortal because he looked away from death. And he's taking pictures of Scully because she's supposed to die. He tells her to look away. She looks away, and it transfers over that he dies, and then she has supposedly become immortal. So
Even more so.
who knows? It's kind of a hidden thing, and it's really fun that in this they kind of call it out, where she's like, "I'm immortal," and she does it in a super flirty way, which I think is
Yeah.
delightful.
I would do that with my immortality too. I
Right?
think, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd be,
no,
I'd be glib and
That's why
flirty
she
about
doesn't
it.
have her gun out anymore.
Yeah.
She's like,
No, she
There we
has
go.
her gun
She
out.
did.
She's the good detective.
not when she
Agent.
not in the
Yeah, because
phone
she
store.
knows how to karate chop shit.
how to attack Gaiman.
Yeah.
Gaiman. Neil Gaiman. Is
Neil
that the guy?
Gaiman.
Oh my
He's
god.
going on tour.
He was
yeah.
actually kind of dressed like Gaiman Roth.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hyman Roth is a character in Godfather 2.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Good for you. Okay, so then, yeah, so she's flirting about her backup, and then Mulder realizes that he didn't believe Guy Mann's story initially, goes back to see him, and there's this nice
Because it
moment
can only be true if he was a lizard
that he
bit by
got bit,
Kamal. Yeah.
which he thought was a hickey initially,
Yeah,
but
Right.
it's super cute.
turns out that it's really a bite. And Scully steals Daku, which is amazing.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
Oh man, the,
She straight
the
up
double
jacks that
take
dog.
of like,
Jack and the dog.
Yeah,
Got
she's
it.
like, nobody looking, no, whoop.
this dog's in a cage. I gotta take
I
it with
got
me.
it.
I know.
Problems not
It
evidence.
bit her, and then
Right.
she was like, "I'm taking it home."
Yeah.
The
What's
serial
that?
killer definitely didn't do the paperwork.
Yeah.
Dog.
Which Darin Morgan had said he wrote Quagmire, and he had killed Queequeg in that
Right.
one. And he'd said he wrote it when he was younger, and now that he has a dog and stuff, he's like, I wouldn't have done that again. So
that's
hopefully
hilarious.
Daku actually gets to live. I doubt we'll see Daku again in the rest of the series, but it would be amazing.
mean,
if he
In the
shows
rest
up.
of these 6 episodes.
These
Right.
6,
And
maybe
when
3
season
episodes
11.
left.
When Darren writes one for the next season.
Yeah, hopefully. And then there's this nice moment.
You don't think
of,
they'll rotate different writers for the next season?
I think they'll try to get.
They'll try to get.
I think that with more
Vince and
lead in, they'll
Vince.
probably try and get Frank and Vince, right?
Frank's gonna be really busy. He's got like 3 shows
Yeah,
coming
he's
up.
Mr.
but,
Producer Man.
Right.
Yeah.
And Vince has also got at least 2 shows on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Well, wait.
But they're not just gonna be
Oh,
like,
what's
well,
the
we'll
other
just get Darren again.
I mean,
Something
they
else, I can't
will.
remember the
I don't
name,
remember either.
Why?
And then he'll be like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I gotta top myself again.
but- Yeah.
And then he'll write a
really
shitty one, and his
good.
life will fall apart.
Right. I did
Uh,
enjoy that. There's something awesome in the fact that, okay, not only is this a lizard creature that gets bit and turned into a human and whatever so this, but it's by some terrible like stroke of luck, it's this random ass lizard that's available only once every 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great.
I'm gonna go hibernate for 10,000
Yeah.
years, and he's like,
He's
what?
like, that can't be.
And by the way, the title that the psychologist gave him when he was telling the story, which I just thought was great, was The Man-Eating Lizard Dragon.
Yeah.
So that is the myth
Yeah.
that they're
The
tapping
myth is
into
the
here is the
man-eating
man-eating
lizard
lizard dragon
Yeah.
who sleeps apparently for 10,000 years.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it winds up wrapping up where Mulder does get to meet him,
Yeah.
and shakes his hand, and as he's shaking his hand, he basically transforms into the lizard monster. And
Also, dashboard cams, right? Like, shouldn't that like rental? Like, if you had
It's
a
a rental.
rental,
It's a rental.
Yeah, but you
there's
can just
the
get like
meeting.
one of like you get those like Russian people have them in every one of their
Russian
cars.
people?
Yeah. You ever seen a Russian dashboard
Right.
cams?
No.
No.
Just like
Yes.
Oh, you mean in Russia?
yeah,
Yeah,
in Russia.
yeah, yeah.
Not
I-
actually
no.
made by Russia.
Well,
Well,
here
probably
in
in
America,
Russia, yeah, maybe.
here in America,
You could-
we
but he's
just
an
use our
FBI
eyes.
agent. You just be like,
Yeah, but he's
Put it in
not
there.
good at it. He's still getting back
He's
at it.
terrible.
It's
Oh
it, look,
my God.
no, the dashboard cam is there. It's just it's a new camera app on it. and-
Yeah.
Right.
He
just,
doesn't
Much like-
know how
just
to
much
taking
use
like,
it.
still pictures in the
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they shake hands. He kind of Mulder gets his groove back. He gets his mojo back, and he's actually kind of like
It's a
happy.
very successful monster case.
Smiles. I really enjoy though as the lizard runs through the woods that he's kind of running and then he does a little kick in the air. which is fantastic. A nice little send off. Be like, peace out, brother. And then
Next episode looks pretty dark.
It will be, yeah.
So next episode is Home Again?
It's called Home Again, written by Glenn Morgan. And it will be about...
The Peacock Brothers.
No.
No.
He did say that he was being a little punk when he called it Home Again. It will be about a guy called the Band-Aid Nose Man who basically rips people into pieces.
What?
Fun.
I'm
It's
so
supposed-
excited.
It's supposed to be incredibly gory.
For 8 o'clock spot on Monday nights on Fox?
Yes!
Great.
It's going to be very
Put your kids to
exciting.
sleep,
Put
babies.
the kids to sleep.
Why
Yeah.
would let him go to
Babies putting the
scouts?
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, so then we just had fun with fun Mulder and Scully. We're gonna go back to sad, terrified Mulder and Scully.
Super dark.
Super dark.
Which
Watch out.
is so good because that's how the show used
That's
to
how
be.
it was.
It was
Yeah.
just it seemed like episodes were just there, and no tone
Scully was-
continuity at all.
Yeah. Scully's really happy and flirty in this one, and the next one she's gonna be crying a lot. 'Cause
Yeah.
Something sad and
And-
bad happens to her personally.
It's interesting because like this show came out at a point
Trying to
where
go for
episodes
spoils.
could end.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Like
Right.
now all of these episodes would have to have some sort of hook for when you're on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I gotta watch the next one.
Yeah.
And now it's
Or
like,
like
oh
the
no,
little-
that story ended.
Little breadcrumb
Yeah.
to like...
Yeah.
The
To
lizard monster's
carry you
still
through.
alive. Yeah.
Right.
Well, just like the breadcrumb of like, it's another puzzle piece
Right.
Yeah.
in the whole tapestry of...
Yeah.
That's probably why
we watched
the
Fringe.
mythology ones are so hard, right? It's because they're like these discrete chunks where
Yeah.
if it was a modern show, it would be stretched out over
Right.
the whole season.
The end.
Great.
The end.
The end.
Yeah!
Yay.
See you next week.
No, wait a
Alien.
second.
Oh, we gotta sign off?
Yeah, you gotta do your plug
No,
stuff.
bye. We gotta go. Bye.
Listen
Thank
to
you
the
for
podcast.
joining.
Bye. We gotta go
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye.
we gotta
Go
go
bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Alieums After Show. Perhaps next week we'll have the Franklin and Bash show.
Franklin and Bash after this.
Tony will be the host. He'll finally
Yes.
get back on the grid for it.
I'm gonna have to watch a lot of Franklin.
Is it funnier if you bash it without having seen it? Is that what the thing
That's
is?
It's
probably
just
pretty
stills.
good.
And you're like, look how stupid this scene looks,
Yeah, probably.
idiots.
I actually just I wanna. If
Or Paul
anyone,
Gossler's career.
if anyone on the internet is watching, I would like you to recreate a Franklin and Bash episode using only footage from other things those two have been in.
That's great. That's a great.
So
I
hit up
like
Clueless.
this.
Road trip.
Yeah.
Saved by
a lot
the
of Saved by the
Bell.
Bell.
Yeah, that's good
NYPD
shit.
Blue. Like
Yeah,
you can go a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
places.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like that. That's a good challenge.
Get on that internet.
Get on that.
Get on that.
Yeah. Go ahead and plug your stuff.
Whenever you're playing with the Giggle Bits on your Pixelburg, check out
Yeah.
TurtleCon podcast. We have a great time. We are putting out new episodes soon, I promise.
I don't care to listen to it.
But there are plenty for you to digest already.
Is it just about a bunch of different 80s cartoons?
No,
What we
No.
do is we
No.
go back and watch an old episode of the '87 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series.
Which is garbage.
bull crap. It's bull crap
Yeah,
for
it's
such a long time.
But
Pretty
it's
much
very fun to rip
terrible.
apart.
I've
so.
watched all of it. It is all crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember it.
Misogynistic,
It's so-
Yeah.
anti-feminist, just
It's
garbage.
great. It's all the
Kids of
things
the
we love
80s
from
are
the
terrible.
80s.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ben and Colleen have both been guests.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
So check out those episodes. They're
Yeah.
wicked fun.
Yes.
Is it
I'm
I'm
sponsored by
very
Trump for
inappropriate in them.
Trump for America is our sponsor for this year
Yeah.
until November, and then it's
And
all
then
bets are off.
Yeah.
And it's re-elect Trump.
Yeah. Yes.
We have a strong platform for the next 4 years. Yeah. I hope to do that podcast until I die.
Yes, good.
And then also follow me on Instagram because I love posting pictures of bullshit and their faces are on there. And
Sure.
will
Yeah.
be more.
What's your Instagram?
Instagram is longshot555. It's my favorite X-Men character. His only ability is he has incredible luck. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fine. And then on Twitter
Jesus.
at Dalex the Alien. We're done. That's
All
it.
right, Dalex the Alien.
Tony doesn't have an
I
online
don't,
presence.
but watch the Goldberg variation. It's another good luck one.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I like adding to his plug.
Yeah,
Well
you
done.
go.
I like this, Tony.
Still talking about luck over here.
Good.
Anyway,
Tony.
Mark, you're
Yeah.
doing a podcast network.
I am. I am
That's
on
ambitious.
it. Yeah, I am
okay.
on it. I am not. Well, I mean, we'll see. So I'm not going to plug that part yet.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the podcast is out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's called What's Your Scene? It releases bi-weekly, and each week we have a different person who has a hobby, pastime, something, some subculture thing that they love, purposely non-pros, like amateurs, people who have that amateur love of stuff.
Like Harry
Um,
Potter, for instance.
Like Harry Potter, but you already got
We
other
did one of
podcast
them.
plugs.
I know,
so
like we
not
were on
even- you got
another
enough.
podcast.
So
Oh my
but we have
As
other
guests.
people.
Incestuous. Is this what
Guy,
Oh, man, we
a
just-
guy. This week's episode is going to be about guy who's been to 15 Comic Cons, and he started as a fan, then going to sell his comic book or like pitch it, and then he sold it, and then he went as a distributor. Then later he went as now he's a comic lit agent. So he's been to the San Diego Comic-Con like 15 times, and in every type of format of why you would go.
Right.
It's very exciting.
It's an awesome episode, and so we're gonna do stuff on pro wrestling, Reddit, horror films. So it's What's Your Scene. It's available on your bleepy bloopy devices. Me and Jono Oldham do it. You can do. My Twitter is at Marc Calderaro. Good luck finding it. I'm not going to spell it
Marc
out.
with a C,
Yeah.
and then Calderaro, exactly how it sounds.
Exactly. Or if you do What's Your Scene podcast, you
It'll
can
come up.
find it that way.
Isn't it
Well,
WYS podcast?
Look, let's not talk
Let's get
about
into
that.
the minutia
But it is
So
it is at WYS_podcast is the Twitter handle.
There you
It's
go.
not great.
All
But
right, that's fine.
I haven't paid money for it yet.
Probably look for Marc Canyonero at Simpsons.
Canyonero!
Right.
Yeah.
I just start thinking Simpsons in my
Alright.
head.
Yeah. I'm
He's
Ben
Ben.
Tully. You can find me on various things at Deep Sea Sith.
I'm Colleen Evanson. You can find me at Lady Fantastic, LADIE, because the Y one was already taken.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And check me out on Vine with
X-Files
The
Abridged.
Abridged.
She's still
I'm
making
still
episodes.
doing it. I did it for tonight.
Still making
Very
episodes.
stressful. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining
Still
us.
making episodes.
Go to sleep, everybody. Good
Yeah.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh,
Don't
man.
be abducted.
Don't get